The Central Methodist Church in Johannesburg has provided shelter for hundreds of homeless people for years. After the 2008 Zimbabwean elections that were marred by violence involving President Mugabe's supporters and those of opposition leader Morgan Tsvangirai, thousands of Zimbabweans fled to South Africa. This church opened its doors for them. The xenophobic violence that erupted in South Africa later that year forced hundreds more to flee their homes and seek refuge in the church, and this has become their home since that time. But now the church authorities have ordered the remaining asylum seekers and economic migrants, largely from Zimbabwe, to pack and leave. The church's new leader, Reverend Ndumiso Ncombo, says the more than 400 homeless people currently taking refuge in the church must find alternative accommodations.
We don't have any plans of evicting people physically, but we'll appeal to people because we have closed that ministry of refugees in the church, like any other ministry that we operate in the church. So we've closed that one and we shall continue without it.
With the homeless having been sleeping on the staircases, in chapel corridors, on the floors and all over available spaces, the damage to the once magnificent church has been huge. Noel Muguti, an asylum seeker from Zimbabwe, is one of those still stuck at the church after failing to find another place to go. He says he fears that if the church decides to forcibly evict him and the other over 200 people still living in the church, the only option left will be that of sleeping in the streets.
The anxiety is that as a refugee for many years, I'm going to be more by being a destitute, by being homeless. I cannot go back to Zimbabwe. I cannot be in this church. I don't know where I will be tomorrow.
But this man, Bishop Paul Verryn, who had been in charge of the church for years before being transferred to another one, vows that no one will be evicted without some other shelter being provided.
We have looked for alternatives and we have got some alternatives, and nobody's going to be treated like a piece of rubbish in this place over my dead body. This place has specifically been created to give people dignity. It's now not going to enter into anything else.
Reverend Ncombo, though, insists it is now time to return the building to its former glory and keep it dedicated to song and praise. Thuso Khumalo for VOA News, Johannesburg.